before, chromatography is the writing with colors technique, and the separation it depends upon the different physicochemical or ionic differentiation illusion behavior of the biomolecule. So the session we will have a quick review on the aspect of ion exchange chromatography. So as the name suggests, ion exchange chromatography, it is nothing but the reversible exchange of ions in the solution, and these ions, they are electrostatically bound to the sort of insoluble matrix or stationary phase. So there are two phases you will be using. One is stationary phase, other is mobile phase in any type of chromatography. In case of ion exchange chromatography, whereas the stationary phase is a solid one, whereas the mobile phase which you will be using, that is a liquid. And this liquid mobile phase, it gets all the particles dissolved in it. Okay, so the separation, it depends upon the charge composition of the ions. So amino acids, if you consider, they bear a charge. Okay, so depending upon the charge which is present on them, they either attach to anionic or cationic molecule. So the type of resin or the ion exchanger, the stationary phase that is being considered, that decides the type of ion exchange chromatography. So the principle, if you consider, it is nothing but attraction between oppositely charged stationary phases. So that is the important thing. The stationary phase in case of ion exchange chromatography is called as ion exchanger, and the ion exchanger and analyte, that is the biomolecule of your interest, that both of them, they show the interaction depending upon their ionic capability. So it may be a positive, that is anionic, or a cationic, that is negative ion exchanger. The functional groups which are attached to the ion exchanger, they are either anionic or cationic. So that depends upon the biomolecule you want to isolate. So the overall thing which you need to consider is the type of resins or the type of ion exchange molecules. So this is considered to be an anionic exchanger which is having positively charged functional groups. So negatively charged thing, it is being going to be attached in this anionic exchanger, and vice versa for cation exchanger. The ion exchanger resins, they are also classified depending upon their strength. That means strong ion exchangers or weak ion exchangers. So again, this can be considered as a classification. Depending upon the source, that means the column packing material, it is a type of column chromatography. So the column packing material which is being considered, depending upon that, naturally, if the column packing material it is obtained, then that is a natural resin, and it would be a synthetic resin as well, that is the polymeric resin matrix which is mostly used. Examples are polystyrene or divinyl benzene. Then if you consider natural, then cellulose is the material of choice. You can consider this is the composition of cellulose. Then the exchange medium, depending upon the charged functional group which is having attached, it has been divided in two types, that is anionic and cationic. So this is being seen as an anion exchanger, positively charged thing, it has been attached to the negatively charged material, and cationic exchanger, it is nothing but vice versa. So this will give you the complete thing or the complete scenario. So this is the ion exchanger resin. It is a stable matrix you can consider. So if you want to make it an anionic exchanger, then you have to add the tertiary amines, or if you want to make it a weak anionic exchanger, you have to add the secondary anions. So exactly what is anionic exchanger? The anionic exchangers have positively charged exchanger with negatively charged mobile counter ion available for exchange. So whatever is attached over here, attached and it is ready for exchange, that is a negative ion, whereas the exchanger itself along with the inert stable support, that is positively charged. So this bond in between the functional group of that resin and the inert material, it is covalent, so that no leaking it would be there. But the bond between the positive and negative in case of anionic exchanger, the functional group or the mobile counter ion, that is nothing but which is being exchanged. Okay, so biomolecule in this case, it will be negative in charge, so it will replace the counter ion and it will take the position of that counter ion, depending upon the valency, depending upon the electronic configuration, depending upon the charge which is present on that typical biomolecule. Then these are the anionic exchanger examples of the anionic exchanger resin. This is the cationic. In a opposite manner, if you consider the cationic exchanger, they are negatively charged exchangers with positively charged mobile counter ions. So here the biomolecule, it is found to be positively charged and it is replacing the counter ion, and it gets itself attached to the typical ion exchanger which is having the opposite charge. So that is the way you will be considering. So if you add sulfonic acid, then you will be having a strong cationic exchanger. If you are adding carboxylic acid, then you will be having a weak cationic exchanger. These are the examples which you can consider for cationic resins. Then this is the instrumentation. These are the high-end instrumentation or high-end columns which are used in a commercial way. This is the laboratory preparation. This is the one which we, if the time permits, then we can set up such a ion exchanger column in our laboratory as well. These are the high-end instruments which are available in different industry as well as research institutes. So illusion is important thing in any type of column chromatography. So it is also important in case of ion exchange chromatography also. Then practical requirement, if you consider, you need a column packing material, you need to apply the sample. But the very prime requirement is that the column packing material, it must be saturated. It must be completely saturated with the mobile phase so that no lumps would be formed, no error, though no noise should be there along with this complete thing. Then again, you need a mobile phase. Then you need a stationary phase. Stationary phase, in case of ion exchanger chromatography, it is an anionic or cationic exchanger. So you need a stable support, you need a functional group on that stable support, and you need a counter ion. So these three things, they completely form the stationary phase, and then you have to feel it inside the column. You have to saturate the column. You have to equilibrate, not saturate. You can consider the term now in case of column chromatography is equilibration. So you have to equilibrate the column, and then you have to add the sample from the upright condition, and then you have to allow the mobile phase to get elute out. Depending upon the interactions which are happening inside the column, the illusion patterns, they are being decided depending upon the biomolecules. And ultimately you will be having the analysis. So again, analysis can be done with the help of spectrophotometric, flame photometric, polarographic, or conductometric. So like in case of GC itself, you will be having different type of readers. Okay, so some readers, they are extinguishing the samples, they are destructing the samples, some of them they are retaining the samples. So again, it depends on what type of detector you will be having. The sample recovery, it will be there. So these are the three things which we have to consider: the swelling of ion exchanger, removal of fine particles, and addition of counter ions. So these are the three steps to prepare the ion exchanger resin. So initially the matrix, it is the matrix or the stable material, it is swelled with the help of either solvent system or any other type of solvent, but mostly recommended thing is solvent system, so that no improper polarity or no improper ionic conditions could happen inside the column. Then removal of fine particles, unswollen particles, they are removed, like, and then addition of counter ions in order to make the thing convert into the ion exchanger. So here the functional groups, they are uh, equipped with the counter ions itself. So this is the way how actual run it occurs. Here it is the sample which is being added inside. The sample, it is eluted, the different fractions are eluted, and each and every fraction, it is analyzed by the reader, and ultimately you will be having n number of curves. The area under curve is considered to be the or it is proportional to the concentration of your biomolecule in your sample. So this is the way how ion exchange chromatography, they are being considered. Okay. Then we have also discussed about the factor affecting ion exchange separation, that is nature and properties of ion exchange resin. That is very important. Then nature of exchanging ion, that is important because the valency is the thing with which the exchange it would occur. Then pH of the mobile phase is also important. Unless and until the biomolecule is in the ionic condition, no ionic interaction, no ionic exchange will be there. Ionic strength, then the temperature is also important because it will ultimately lead to any improper binding, or it would not give you the proper binding also. Then mobile phase modifiers, if they are being added inside, then the mobile phase, it gets altered, and the pH or temperature or ionic strength, they may get variable. Displacers, if by accident if they are added inside, then they will not give you the proper result. So all these things you will be you need to take while consideration while performing the practical. So the steps you can consider, they are equilibration, then sample application and wash, then illusion and regeneration. This regeneration is the term used for re-equipment of resin, so that you can use it for the second time. That means you are again equipping it with the counter ion. You are eluting out your biomolecule by altering the conditions in the column, and then again you are adding something which allow to regenerate the column. It is being regenerated. That means the counter ions, they are again fitted on that column, so that you can use the column for the second or the next operation. What is exactly is happening inside the column? If cationic exchanger you consider, then negatively charged covalently bound thing, it is there in the resin itself. Counter ions which you are using, they are the positive one. So this positive and counter ions, they are exchanged with your biomolecule, which is X plus. So Y plus is being exchanged with X plus. So this is the cationic resin. In other ways, you will be able to see it with the cationic resins also. So while performing the operation, initially you are equilibrating the column with the mobile phase. Then the column, it is having the counter ions inside, and then you are adding your sample. So your sample molecule, depending upon their valencies, they exchange with the counter ions. They get exchanged. Your counter ions, they are eluted out, and then your biomolecules, they are attached in the column. If you alter the condition, now the column is containing only your biomolecules. After altering the conditions, your biomolecules, they get eluted out, and the column is now ready for regeneration. Now you again add the counter ion solution, so that the counter ions, they get fitted on the column, and you can use the column for the next operation. So advantages, if you consider, then they are cost effective, reusable, easily collected, then low maintenance cost is there, efficient technique it is, but the only requirement is that the molecule which you need to separate, it must be in the ionic form. The very routine application of ion exchange chromatography, if you consider, is the softening and demineralization of water. So IO is the very important, IE is the very important thing for water purification. Also purification of solutions free from ion impurities, that is deionization, if you want to do, then you can use this type of chromatography in a huge scale. So preparative scale up is very easily available for ion exchange chromatography. Then inorganic ions and organic ions, they can be separated. And ion exchange column in HPLC, this is another variant. So HPLC column, that means ion exchange chromatography under pressure, you will be able to perform. Then these are the actual applications you can consider, as softening of water, demineralization, analyze base composition of nucleic acid, then concentrate the metal ions in the sample, so that you will be able to remove them collectively. Then to measure the additives in food and drug sample to separate protein mixtures. These are the important applications of ion exchange chromatography. So this is all about ion exchange chromatography. This is a quick revision basically, and this is for your review.